When you think of Post Malone, country music might not be the first thing that comes to mind. But maybe it should be. There's no denying that everything he touches turns to gold. Whether it's his breakout hit White Iverson that shook up the hip-hop scene in 2015, or pop anthems like Sunflower that just dominated the charts. But in 2020, we started seeing Post rocking Tyler Childers, Coulter Wall, and Billy String shirts, and even jamming with Dwight Yoakam's band covering Brad Paisley and Sturgill Simpson. Well, I'm gonna miss her. Little did we know, this was just the prelude to something big. Fast forward to now, and Post Malone has dropped his debut country album, F1 Trillion. But now we have a problem. Will this album resonate with pop-driven country fans or win over the hearts of the country music purists? Is it an instant classic or something best left forgotten? Let's find out. Austin Post grew up in Texas, surrounded by a family with a wide range of musical interests. His mom was a fan of traditional country legends from back in the day, while his dad's eclectic taste spanned rap, 90s country, and rock.
My mom was super into, like the old Hank and George and Conway and all that stuff. But my dad liked a lot of so did my mom, but the 90s stuff. And he loved rap and metal and everything. So it was just like kind of a mishmash.
This diverse musical exposure clearly left its mark on Post, as many forget that one of his first YouTube videos was a cover of Bob Dylan's Don't Think Twice, It's Alright.
You're the reason that I'm traveling on.
But it was the hip-hop and R&B side of him that truly came to life in 2016 when he dropped his first full-length album featuring hits like I Fall Apart, Congratulations, Go Flex, and of course his breakout track White Iverson.
And now they always say congratulations.
I remember being a freshman in college in the fall of 2016, hearing Post Malone played all over the dorms, and it brings back a lot of memories for me. As the years went by, Post continued to evolve. While still rooted in hip-hop, he began weaving in elements of pop, like in Better Now, and showcased his acoustic talents with songs like Stay. His collaboration with Ozzy Osbourne in 2019 with Take What You Want further proved his versatility. And in 2023, he even jumped on Noah Kahan's folk pop track Dial Drunk, demonstrating once again that Post Malone is a genre-bending artist who can't be easily categorized. As his career evolved, he started dropping hints that he was leaning into country music, and fans began to take notice. Back in 2020, he began subtly showing love to country artists, rocking Tyler Childers, Coulter Wall, and Billy String shirts, and even curating Spotify playlists featuring these artists. But it didn't stop there. In 2021, Post Malone took it a step further, jamming with Dwight Yoakam's band and covering a wider range of artists on Matthew McConaughey's Texas benefit concert. I mean, he was even on stage with Billy Strings at one point.
I thought I was her daddy, but she had 5 more.
These were clues, breadcrumbs, leading us to what was bound to happen next.
You've said, man, I would love to put out an album of country music. You love country music, You've covered country tunes, you love Johnny Cash.
If I get another year to myself, maybe I'll make a country album.
At the time, it might have seemed like Post was just playing around with his musical influences. But looking back, it's clear. Something was brewing, and the country world was about to be shaken up. Teasers of songs posted on Instagram with Morgan Wallen in the studio, and inside sources did confirm the project. But Post Malone was known as a pop and hip-hop artist at the time. What would he want this album to sound like? More traditional country, pop, or even Texas swing? Well, what if I told you he went ahead and had all of that in this project? This wasn't just a creative experiment. Its whole project was a gamble. The stakes were high with his credibility, and fans' expectations hanging in the balance. In May of 2024, Post Malone dropped the first single from his much-anticipated country album, making it clear that this genre crossover was indeed happening. I Had Some Help has all the catchiness of a summer anthem, with a hook that will stay in your head for days. And let's be real, whether you love or hate him, Morgan Wallen, who is featured on the track, is a certified hitmaker. So it was destined to be one of the songs of the summer, if not the song. Fast forward to August 16th, and Post officially releases F1 Trillion, a colossal album featuring 18 tracks, with 15 of them showcasing collaborations with some of the biggest names in country music. And just when fans thought that they heard it all, Post Malone dropped the F1 Trillion Long Bed Deluxe album the very next morning, adding 9 songs without any features. The initial reaction to the regular album was positive, but some critics claiming that he relied too heavily on features, but the deluxe release, it quickly silenced the doubters. The truth is, there's no pressure on Post Malone to carry this album solo. The fact that so many artists jumped on the chance to collaborate with him speaks volumes about his influence and reputation in the music world. These artists know what he brings to the table, not just as a musician, but as a person. I mean, who wouldn't want to work with someone as genuine as Post Malone? I've seen so many videos of him online with him being just nice to fans and him doing really special things. So again, it's no wonder why he has all these connections in the industry. Let's dive into the initial release of F1 Trillion.
Somebody pour me a drink, somebody bum me a smoke.
This album truly has something for every type of country music lover, and it might even open the door for some traditionalists who have been skeptical about modern day country. Let's divide these into the features and then the solo performances, starting with the features. He comes out of the gate with none other than Tim McGraw, one of the faces of 90s and early 2000s country. Instrumentally and vocally, this song will shoot adrenaline through your veins, and it's undeniable the chemistry that McGraw and Post have together on this song, feeding off each other.
With them cold ones coming, and it's
But I don't know if just the overall theme does it for me, as it kind of gives this bro country vibe that I'm just not really into.
got a 6-pack and a farmer's tan, top of the world.
And that's coming from someone who enjoyed McGraw's early 2010s albums. But by all means, it isn't a bad song, but I don't think I'll be coming back to it necessarily. Now we've got Finer Things featuring Hank Williams Jr. This track really grew on me, and Hank sounds incredible, especially considering his age. The song's got that classic tongue-in-cheek vibe with lines like, "I got a 10-point blonde and a shotgun seat," and a reference to the F1 Trillion limousine. That whole chorus is catchy.
I got a thing for the finer things.
I can totally picture your uncle just belting out this at some hole-in-the-wall dive bar on karaoke night, just singing this at the top of his lungs. It's just a good song.
Yeah, I got an F1 Trillion limousine.
It's got that timeless quality that gets you nodding your head and just sticks with you. Also, can we talk about that organ? Next, there's I Had Some Help featuring Morgan Wallen, and we already brushed upon this. It is the lead single for a reason. It's catchy, it's energetic, and undeniably solid. Then we have Pour Me a Drink with Blake Shelton.
Dallas dropped another game in overtime.
Blake's voice fits this track like a glove, and it feels like a throwback to the mid-2000s, yet with a modern twist. The song taps into those classic country themes like drowning your sorrows after your favorite team loses in overtime, Sorry Dallas. It's simple, but sometimes that's all you need for a song to feel fresh and engaging. And I think this might be one of the safer songs, if that makes sense, but it's still a good song by all means.
Somebody pour me a drink, somebody pour me a smoke.
Have the Heart featuring Dolly Parton is another worth mentioning.
I don't have the heart to break.
It captures the essence of loving someone but not having the heart to end things in a relationship. Dolly still delivers top-notch performances even after all of these years, but there has been a decent amount of mixed reviews on the production of her vocals, and I see what they're saying, but I would be lying if I said I didn't like this song. Is it my favorite off the album? Probably not. But that high note that she hits leading into the chorus, I like it, and it's Dolly.
Baby, I don't have the heart.
And of course she isn't going to sound exactly what she did back in the day, but she's almost 80 years old. Not bad. Goes Without Saying with Brad Paisley transports me back to the early 2000s when Brad was at his prime.
But her taillights are doing all the talking.
It's a nostalgic trip that brings back all of those early country music memories, and this song is about losing someone who slips right through your fingers. Something we've all felt. Brad's voice paired with that classic storytelling really takes you back.
And it goes without saying.
Guy for That featuring Luke Combs is another powerful track. Luke's voice bursts through with energy, and that opening guitar riff, pure magic.
I'm pretty good at breaking down a heart.
The music video shot on Broadway in Nashville looks like it was a blast to make. My only gripe is that the song feels a bit short. I wish Post would have came back with one more verse after Luke, but still, it's a standout. And speaking of Luke, the other track, Missing You Like This, is another gem.
But it's years gone by.
The chemistry between Luke and Post is undeniable, making it a dreamier, passionate track that's definitely worth some praise. This might be one of my favorites off the whole album.
I knew for a night.
Real quick, if you guys are enjoying this video, I'd appreciate it if you like and subscribe, just because we're trying to build a community of country music fans and folk music lovers on this channel. The tracks featuring Billy Strings and Sierra Farrell, both traditional country and Americana and bluegrass artists, are also strong additions. While I really wish they'd each had a verse or a shot at the chorus, their backing vocals still add depth, and Mexico is a fast-paced, humorous guitar-picking anthem. Never Love You Again slows things down with a somber reflection on love and moving on. Devil I've Been gives off tropical vibes, especially with that opening guitar riff. Ernest is a phenomenal songwriter, and this feel-good tune is perfect with those summer days, whether you're cruising with the windows down or chilling by the pool. Then there's California Sober, featuring Chris Stapleton. The way Post and Chris's voices just blend is magical. The jamming and guitar picking in this song is top tier, and I can't help but imagine me playing this on Rocksmith back in the day in 2014, if you guys remember that game. But seriously, Stapleton's voice gives the song a soulful warmth to it that sounds really good. I'm not the biggest listener of Jelly Roll or Hardy, but their songs on this album are quite accessible and easy to listen to. They bring something unique lyrically, making their songs stand out in a good way.
Would you hide my gun? Would you tell no one? Would you...
But with Jelly Roll and the song Losers, this has actually become one of the more streamed songs off of the album, and this song does have a nice hook to it.
This one's for the losers.
Nosedive with Lainey Wilson is a beautiful track about finding beauty in the challenges of life.
Beauty in the nose.
Lainey's voice is a real treat, and she's been on fire lately, especially with that great song on the Twister movie soundtrack. Her presence on this album just adds another layer of depth. Now, let's dive into the rest of the standout tracks on F1 Trillion, including those from the Long Bed Deluxe edition, which showcase Post Malone's solo artistry. What Don't Belong to Me is likely to become one of the most played tracks from his solo collection. It leans more into pop with country undertones, blending seamlessly with Post Malone's signature sound. This track is perfect for late night drives, offering a reflective vibe that fits right with his previous albums. Next up is Yours. This track is a heartfelt gem, and as a new father, it resonates deeply with me. It reminds me of songs like Tim McGraw's My Little Girl and I Loved Her First, which are often featured in father-daughter dances at weddings. I'm a wedding photographer, so there's a lot of wedding references on this channel, but I see this all the time, and Post Malone manages to capture a similar sentiment without veering into this cliche territory. One can't help but wonder if he'll be dancing to this at his own daughter's wedding someday. Killed a Man from the Long Bed Deluxe edition offers a metaphorical take on killing one's old self or old ways. While country music often explores dramatic narratives about killing deserving characters, Post Malone's approach is refreshingly unexpected and introspective.
I killed a man last night.
Two more solo tracks worth mentioning are Hey Mercedes and Go to Hell. Hey Mercedes has a familiar vibe that might remind some listeners of Cole Swindell's She Had Me at Heads Carolina.
Hey, I got a Chevy, she can flip a quarter. Hey, Mercedes.
Though opinions on this might vary, it's a pleasant listen and will likely appeal to many fans. However, my personal favorite among Post Malone's solo offerings is Go to Hell. This track is undeniably country, featuring steel guitar, fiddle, and even honky-tonk piano.
She can tell, go to hell and make you like it.
The steady tempo and George Jones references like White Lightning
Messenger, white lightning.
make it a true standout. The song's energetic finale is a highlight that adds a great touch. So what are people saying about F1 Trillion? Well, most people do have a positive reaction to it. I've been seeing some 9s out of 10s, 7 out of 10s, and some 5s or 6s, but mostly above that. I've been reading comments like, it's a mixed bag, or it was worth the wait, and irresistibly catchy with its collaborations. So what's the verdict? First off, do I think the album is good? Yes, absolutely. I do think it is good. It is enjoyable to listen to. It's clear that they had a lot of fun making this record. This eclectic approach works well for him as his background is really all over the place with country, folk, R&B, hip hop, pop. So I feel like he gets a pass in this instance, but not a lot of other country artists could probably pull this off. Overall, I enjoy the album. Is it the greatest thing ever to exist? Probably not, but was it a success? Yeah, I think so. Saving Country Music wrote, but there's so much better stuff out there right now in country music proper, including in the mainstream, that doesn't deserve to be overshadowed by a project like F1 Trillion. What do you guys think about this quote? Is it true? I'd love to hear what your thoughts are in the comments below, and personally, I'm on board with the hype right now. Again, let F1 Trillion have its moment. This is honestly a big part of history in country music with just how big Post Malone is in the pop world, even if you don't want to admit it or not. So I think that he did have a successful transition into country, and who knows, he might be here to stay. But that's all I have for today. Let me know in the comments below what you think of F1 Trillion, what your favorite song is off the album. But other than that, I will see you guys in my next video. Take care.